Merry Christmas, one and all, and I can't really think of any better present than some more racing action. That's right, the Formula E Monoposto Championship is back for its final race in Season 18. We're in London for the 19th round of the season. 3 drivers coming into this race with a very good shot of winning a championship. Revo in second, going for his third. UK Ball leading the way, going for his second. And Oscar Folstad going for his, what could be, one and only World Drivers' Championship. This is his second attempt of it, and he looks to be in a lot better mental state to try and go for it. But as we continue to look over the scenes here in London, we've got to think of ourselves. What have we just come from? And that's exactly why we're about to show you exactly what we've just seen happen in the Formula E Monoposto Championship throughout Season 18. It really has been one of the most interesting seasons in championship history. But before we take a look at where the drivers start, let's take a look at the track they'll be racing at. This one of the most iconic circuits in championship history, with 18 turns, most of them going to the right, clockwise track with 2 attack mode activation points. One right before Stowe turn, where a lot of quick overtakes get made. There's a lot more elevation than there was in Abuja last time out, but it's still a relatively flat track. So let's take a look at where the drivers will be starting for this brilliant Prix. Another bad qualifying for Miguel de Souza sees him starting 22nd, then it's Cosmos, Leo and Cici. In 18th, it's Enoch Curie, followed by Tommy, Daniel Bogdasarov and Babnis Jr. Lewis Olsen is in 14th, then it's PCR, T. Gabo and Akari Lopez. But as for the top 10, let's take a look at them on the grid now. Starting in 10th position is Santino Milan, followed by Jonathan Sims in his home race. Sebastian Ocampo starts 8th, then it's Bastian Tan, Dav Sanchez, Jack Carter, David Camino, and the top 3 is UK Ball, Oscar Folstad, and Revo, your pole sitter. Well, heavy rain has hit this area of the United Kingdom then. Revo starting on pole with his biggest championship rival, U-Cable, behind him, and Falstad alongside. It's the 20th ever London E3 then. Here come the lights. And we go green for the final round in Season 18. Pretty good start from all the front row men. And then can we take a look further up front? We're currently looking at Tommy in 16th, dropping to 17th. Falstad looking to the inside line of Revo. But coming through the opening few turns, it has been very clean until that. CZ getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision. U-Cable swooping past Falstad on the straight. Can he get past Revo as well? Heading into the hard-breaking point. Yes, he can. The Season 10 champion takes the lead of his home Prix. Falstad currently down in third, trying to do as much as he can with where he is currently. And Revo looking to the inside of U-Cable. Can he try and send one down the inside as well? No, he's actually brought Falstad into the fight for the lead a lot more as well. U-Cable, as long as he is if he finishes second and Revo wins, Revo's going to be champion. And if he is second, U-Cable, and the other title rivals are behind him, then it doesn't matter, he's going to be champion. As it would stand, U-Cable would be champion, Falstad would be second, and Revo would be third. And the gap between Falstad and Revo would be 1 point. Leaving here, this is the last race of the championship. Is out of the race, is gone. Sebastian Ocampo with team radio from the Andretti Honda man, just ensuring us that he is okay. Thankfully, didn't get any audio from him. But we are on the second lap. Virtual safety car is still out there. On board with Falstad, then we're still under full course yellow. Falstad leading the C3. He's got the fastest lap, of course, by being the man who led at the end of lap 1, but it's just good to know that Ocampo's okay, as we should be. Yes, we are back racing then. On board with Falstad, still the man who currently leads this race. They're all on blue walled wet weathers, as here we are for a replay of the race start then. And yeah, Tommy did get a very good start, but I wanted to see what was happening further up front, because again, Falstad just holding off U-Cable as much as he physically could. But back to the action then. On board with Revo trying to close in on U-Cable. The rain is still coming down quite heavily. But as we still look with the man who currently leads the World Drivers' Championship, further back you can see, I think that's Jack Carter trying to get past David Camno. He is up into 4th position, but we're still watching U-Cable do his best to close in on Oscar Falstad, and he's hit the wall. Yellow flags in the third sector for the championship leader and his teammate Bastian Tan getting a 5-second time penalty. And that's a big melee in the midfield. That's the back half of the pack. Leo getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision, and I'm sorry, but that was all caused by a single mistake by this man, U-Cable. And he's got to be, I think he's got front wing damage. Camino also in that little incident there, he's dropped to the back of the pack. Falstad setting the fastest first sector of anybody, but I think, and I'm not too confident on this, I think U-Cable might have damage, and if he does, this could be it for his championship hopes. He is leading the championship 10 points ahead of Revo, and he is a further 18 or 16 points ahead of Oscar Falstad. Yeah, he's 16 points ahead as we look back with Revo. There's no one in front of him or behind him for a few seconds. I think this could easily be game on for both Revo and Falstad. As it would stand, Falstad would actually win the championship, but by the skin of his teeth. And Falstad coming into this race, he was third, but he did win last time out in Abuja to keep himself in the title fight and effectively kick out this man Jack Carter, his teammate now coming to the final part of the track. And I almost thought he hit the wall there. Falstad's having the fastest lap of the Prix as we look to Santino Milan coming through that chicane. The chicane that bookends the track, known for causing a lot of incidents. And yes, that's Akari and U-Cable into the pits. U-Cable coming into pit lane at the end of lap 3. Cosmos getting very close to the wall. But I think that is going to be it for UKable's championship hopes. That one incident at the end of lap 2 might have just killed his race. He's back out on more blue wall wets. You can hear the rain falling. But as we go on board with race leader Oscar Forsberg, now the man second, third, top 3 looks to be how it should be in the World Drivers' Championship, possibly. Because I'm not too sure if UKable is going to be able to get points today. If it were to finish like this, Forsberg would win the World Drivers' Championship, but the constructors would stay with DS Automobiles. Forsberg coming into that chicane then. It's not a very easy chicane to do in the dry, let alone wet weather conditions. As on to lap 5 we go. Another new fastest lap for Forsberg. He is flying out there. He's relishing in these conditions as we look to the midfield pack. The Aurelio Mahindra driver of Inokui trying to close in on T. Gabo as much as he can. He might have a good shot going into turn 1 if he can just close up a little bit more, stay in the slipstream of the man who's currently in front of him. Let's look to David Camino in the 88, doing as much as he humanly can, of course, on board with T. Gabo. This time last season, he and his team, Renault Virgin Racing, they had a very good shot of going to the World Drivers' Championship. However, this season, it's just been hell for them, especially at the start. Renault did not bring a very competitive package. But we look back to the DS McLaren TGR man who currently leads the field. He is 4 seconds ahead of Revo. This should be very easy title to try and get for Forsberg. Miguel de Souza currently with his fastest lap. And we've got yellows, and that's for Revo! Revo's in the barriers! Full course yellow as Jack Carter's out of the E-Prix. And we should get... Yeah, there you go, text team radio. I'm sorry, guys, is the message from the Danish driver. I cannot believe it. Because that has effectively killed the charge of the constructors. This should be McLaren going for both championships. As we are a third of the way through this E-Prix. Back racing under green. Bogdasarov trying to close in as much as he can. David Camino coming down the hill and into the final chicane as well. Luckily there was no real debris sparking off of the DS Automobile man. But my goodness, that was unbelievable. I've never seen a crash that's happened so quickly, so early on, and could have had that big ramifications for a championship. At least not in this season, because last season it was something else. Season 18, it's been pretty good. So to end it off with an extra race in London has also been pretty enjoyable. As we look to Oscar Forsberg, who's still leading the E-Prix. He's going to start lap 7. And has he come into the pits? I think Forsberg's coming to the pits. He is in the pits. So McLaren gambling on strategy. Are they going to put him onto inters? So taking a look. Yes, those are intermediates going onto Revo's car as well. But I think we should get some team radio from someone. And from UKable, I think we should go slicks. It's the message from this season 10 champion. He's just at a faster sector as P. Sierra's gotten himself a puncture. Dearie me, for the Spaniard, that's less than ideal to say the least. But yeah, Inokui going for mediums. T. Gabo has gone on to mediums as well. Lewis Olsen on softs. CC on softs. Babinis Jr. on mediums. So it's really just the top 5 who have gone out on the intermediate rubber. And Revo's lost 11 seconds from Forsberg. He's lost 6 seconds in the pits. Not too sure where those 6 seconds might have gone. But on lap 7 of 18, this is Forsberg's championship to lose. As PCR going on to soft tyres, thankfully for him. And yeah, the rain has stopped falling. There's some areas of wet, of puddles on the track. But Leo now getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision as well. That's 10 seconds worth of time penalties. As Anarchy with a puncture as well. That's unheard of. I can't believe this has happened once again. Second time in 2 laps. We've seen a driver get a puncture. The top 5 now coming into the pits. As we're on board with Jonathan Simpson, you can see he's really struggling on that intermediate rubber at his home race. A home race for his organisation. He was running there in 5th, which was actually really impressive. Falstad still leading this. Will Revo be 2nd? He should be. He's coming out of the pits now. But the man in 3rd probably won't be Nav Sanchez. It's going to be T. Gabbo. So it's in Italy 2-3. Gabbo setting a fastest 3rd sector of anybody. With 10 laps left to run. CC setting a fastest 3rd sector. Tommy in the number 45 for DS Venturi Formula E team. Doing a very good job indeed. We're looking now with Leo as Lewis Olsen setting a fastest 2nd sector of anyone. I'm not too sure where this has come from, but Dragon have come into the second half of this season. This might just be due to the powertrain upgrades from their supplier in Renault, but it's been brilliant in what they've been able to do. Volstad, however, still leading this race. He's about half a pit stop, maybe 2/3 of a pit stop ahead of... Oh, he's in the wall! Volstad hits the barriers! And Huey might have just compromised his line heading into the chicane so much that he hit the wall. Is there debris down there? Yes, there is! Revo slides and hit the barriers as well. And he's going to drop down to 4th position, possibly... he's still in 3rd. Does he have to make the stop? And Huey, he comes in for his 2nd stop of the Prix, but Volstad's definitely got front wing damage, and he's going to have to come in again. Camno setting a new fastest lap of 1:18.266. And this is half race distance. There's still so much left to see in this race. But Gabbo has been passed by Revo though. Fastest lap going to P. Sierra. 1.3 seconds quicker than that last attempt from the Braun Honda of David Camino. But UK Ball, well, now's his chance to show what he can do. He's currently in 16th. To win the championship currently, he would need to finish 6th. He needs to take 10 positions in the next 9 laps. And he's on the back of Leo currently. Not looking at him, we're on board with Volstad. We're looking at Volstad now, and yes, he is missing half of his front wing. He's going to have to come into the pits. But he should come out of the pits. I think he should come out around 3rd. So it's not over yet for the McLaren man. Far from it. Revo coming through that chicane then. He might not be. There's yellows down there. For a brief window of time, there were yellow flags down at that chicane. Revo setting the fastest lap of the E3 at 1:15. But who are those yellow flags for? I think they might have been for Camino or an QE, not too sure which one. But no one got too much damage. It was just a car on the grass. But Revo is leading this E3 now from T. Gabbo, Udaf Sanchez and Vasti and Tan. Volstad came out of the pits in 5th position. And as it would stand, Revo would be the World Drivers' Champion for the 3rd season in a row. 3 consecutive championship winning seasons for this man. That would be something dearly desired for him. As UK Ball getting past the lapped car of an QE. As I'm pretty sure Aurelio Motorsport, that's the powertrain division of Aurelio Pinnacle, the factory team who makes their powertrains. They're definitely focused a lot more on season 19 than season 20 currently. As Olsen really struggling with his tyres. Sims Motorsport Nissan, just going to point this out. They're currently running as into the wall goes David Camino. There weren't yellow flags there. Leo getting a 5-second time penalty. Camino dropping to 16th. That's elevated his teammate U-Cable to 14th. He's now dropped to 15th. Look at that. There's pack racing there. That's unheard of in this championship. We rarely ever see something like pack racing. Especially not at a track like this. You'd expect that somewhere like Rome or Abuja or Lagos. But with 7 laps to go, I've never seen something like that happen here in London. But now with U-Cable, he's in 14th, not really doing too much. We're on board with Daf Sanchez in 2nd position, being caught by Folstad, who has found his way up into 3rd position at 2, 3, 4 seconds away from race leader Revo. So they do need to pick up the pace if they want to try and steal the race lead. And in the case of Oscar Folstad, the World Drivers' Championship from him. And that's going to help him dearly. Yellow flags down at the 1st sector. And Revo drops to P3. After having hit the wall. He hasn't received any front wing damage. But into the pits comes T. Gabo and Daf Sanchez. With 6 laps left to run, those softs are not looking very good on Revo's car. He should pit as Babness Jr. losing his front wing. That's one way to get around him. For one of the Braun Hondas, couldn't really tell which one it was. A damage for Babness Jr. as he's coming to the pits, yes. And U-Cable now finds himself in the points. He'd only be scoring 1, which is not enough for him to claim the World Championship. There's 6 laps left to run. In the final third of this race, a final round in season 18. Gonna keep pedaling that to you. But on board with Folstad as he comes through the last part of the 2nd sector. One of the quickest sets of flowing corners on the calendar. And Jonathan Sims, just gonna note this out currently, he would currently be on the podium with for his, I believe, first time. Wouldn't be the first time for one of his own cars, but it would still be wonderful for him to do it at home. Virtual safety car, T. Gabo out of the Prix, flying tyre there. He's in the wall right there, coming by your screen. And for Cosmos, that was, I've never seen an incident like that. We're hearing now from the Virgin Racing team, he had a puncture and someone hit him in the back. But that's just not ideal. Full course yellow. And we should be able to get back racing soon. Santino Milan and Jonathan Sims coming in for their 3rd and hopefully final stops. More drivers coming in for their pit stops. Revo, we believe, came in to try and do these last 5 laps on mediums as we get back racing. Kari Lopez, the season 15 champion, hits the wall. Yellow flags down in the 3rd sector. And can he? I think he might have an issue with his steering column, trying to get it back onto the track. But he is back on track. He is not out of this race. And QE, just going to say this once more. That's a race winner. And that's someone who's got a puncture. Someone had a puncture back there. I'm not too sure who it was. But that's definitely unfortunate for whoever that was. Couldn't quite tell. As we look to PCR getting past Babinus Jr. once again. As Camino further up front from those guys, getting himself up into 13th on board of CCS. Into the pits comes Oscar Folstad for medium tyres. Revo, we believe, should and does inherit the race lead from the Norwegian man with 4 laps left to run. Bastian Tan up to 2nd. Sims is still 4th, but it's a brilliant 4th for him at his home event. Not too sure how much more you would have wanted from him today. He's done absolutely magnificently. And QE going on to medium tyres. Fastest 1st sector going to Bastian Tan. Camino trying to close in on Bogdasarov, who's currently ahead of him. As we looked at Cosmos, And he's going to try and get past Sierra and Babness Jr. He's ahead of Babness Jr. Can he get past at turn 1? Brilliant move from Cosmos to get himself up into 14th position. Babness Jr. trying to look to the outside of P. Sierra, looks to the inside at turn 3. Not quite close enough, my friend. He's going to have to try later on around the lap. But on board. We were on board with Falstad there. And Santino Milan, he's got a puncture. Coming into the final chicane, he's got himself a puncture. He's going to be a lap down as well. Revo race leader coming into that chicane, just about missing the wall as he comes across the line now to start the third from last lap in season 18. Lap 15 of 18 here in London, United Kingdom. Revo leading the way from Bastien Tan and Oscar Falstad. And it's Jonathan Sims, Bastien Tan, the two Dragon Renault cars of Lewis Olsen and Miguel de Souza. Then it's CC, Leo, and U-Cable, the top 10. And just going to say this one more time, is Tommy in the wall, spinning. He's got front wing damage. There were yellow flags there. He's come out of it roundabout fine. U-Cable setting a new fastest lap of the Prix. But that fastest lap isn't going to help him too much in his title bid. As it would currently stand, Revo would be your season 18 champion from Oscar Falstad and U-Cable. And I do believe U-Cable and Falstad should be tied on points, roughly, because the gap between them would go from 16 points to 0, because Falstad would currently be scoring 16. No, he wouldn't. He's in third. Sorry, I thought he got past his teammate by now. I thought they would have used team orders, but here comes U-Cable trying to get past Leo, not quite able to yet, as CC further ahead, closing in on Miguel de Souza. Falstad not even close to the back of his own teammate. Das Sanchez almost skimming the wall with 2 laps left to run here in London, United Kingdom. On Christmas Day, whoever would take the championship today would be delighted. It would be one of the best Christmas presents a racing driver would ever ask for. A championship. And this championship, as hectic, as competitive as this one, as Cosmos gets past David Camno, you got to take all the championship victories you can get. As Olsen's coming to the pit, same as Tommy. So that's going to elevate these guys further up the order, I think. Yeah, Cosmos should be 11th here. He is 11th. As Falstad looking to the outside of his teammate, not Kiwi getting a 5-second time penalty. Off the track goes Falstad, forced wide by his own teammate. Bastien Tan is telling his own team, hey look, I know I'm not in the title fight, but I could have been. As there goes Falstad with attack mode ahead of his teammate coming through that turn. Akari Lopez coming out of the pits now, last man on the lead lap. Bastien Tan trying to close in on his teammate, and into the pits he comes, as on to the penultimate lap of the London E-Prix we go on to. Lap 17 of 18, Sims in his home race up to third position. That's actually quite the story to tell. But for Revo, his medium tyres are not looking too good. I wonder if it might have been smarter to go on to softs and then pit onto another set of softs. That could have kept them in the race a lot longer, because now Revo's got to do some tyre management on these last lap and a half rather. As we look to Babness Jr. coming into the pits, his teammate coming around the final turn, coming into the final chicane rather. U-Cable going on to new soft tyres, so he has relinquished the points that he would have gotten, and effectively he has relinquished all hope of taking a second World Drivers' Championship. So out in front, it's a fight for a third and a first World Championship between Falstad and Revo. As now Revo coming to the final chicane. Not at the wall, which is something Falstad probably would have wanted to have happen. See his biggest title rival crash out of the race, but on to the final lap. Here in London we go. Revo leading the way from Oscar Falstad and Jonathan Sims. But Falstad, he's closing in. He's within attack mode distance. He's 7/10 of a second behind Revo as they come to the first of 2 attack mode activation points. He's got attack mode. but he's not close enough. Revo setting a fastest first sector of anyone. 1.7 seconds to gap. I believe we could be seeing the world champion here. He's coming through the second sector. Daf Sanchez setting a fastest first sector in his Andretti, currently in fourth. Miguel de Souza getting a track limits warning as Camino getting past the Dragon Racing man, his teammate trying to get himself up into the points. But now, heading into the final sector, this race is not over just yet. We've still got some of the most treacherous turns in the championship to go. But on board with Revo then, looking to his title rival, coming through the chicane as he comes through and he's hit the wall! I don't believe it! Volstad takes the lead! He's rounding the final turn! There are yellow flags! Revo's in the barrier, Sims hits the wall! But to the checkered flag! Oscar Volstad wins the London E3 and he is World Drivers Champion. Dan Sanchez out of the E3. Full course yellow to end it. And Jonathan Sims takes on the P2. Revo's going to have to sit and linger with a P3 finish. I don't believe it. Have I ever seen anything like that happen in this championship before? No, I have never. But the championship has just been decided at the last turn of the last lap in the last race. And Oscar Volstad, the number 4 for DS McLaren TGR, has been handed one of the best Christmas gifts you could ever wish for as Camino hits the wall sliding. And DS McLaren TGR with Bastian Tan coming home in 4th as Tommy also in the barriers. DS McLaren TGR are World Constructors Champions. That last lap incident as we see Sierra spinning, hitting the wall. I've never seen anything like that happen in this championship. As Milan and Anarchy are lapped down, let's take a look back to that incident. He's been struggling with tyre wear this entire race, and yeah, he just hits the wall as we got team radio.
Yes, boys. World champion! Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
What a finish to one of the most hectic races I've ever been able to witness. Oscar Volstad took the lead at the final moment there. He wins in London, and with that, he is the Season 18 World Drivers Champion. Jonathan Sims at the end of the race as well, coming home to finish in 2nd. Brilliant for the owner driver. And Revo, he's wondering what could have been. He finished 3rd today, and that could have been him winning this race and the championship, which would have been his 3rd in a row. But unfortunately, he just misses out as we now listen to the Norwegian and British national anthems for Oscar Volstad and DS McLaren TGR. let's take a look at the race results for the London Prix. Oscar Falstad wins from Jonathan Sims, Revo Bastien Tan, CC Lewis Olsen, Daniel Bogdasarov, Miguel de Souza, UK ball the fastest lap, David Camino and Tommy in 11th. Following him is Cosmos, Babness Jr., Leo Akari Lopez, P. Sierra, Santino Milan and Anokiri with Dav Sanchez, T. Gabo, Jack Carter and Santino Milan and Sabo Campo not finishing. Oscar Falstad is your World Drivers' Champion from Revo and UK ball, Bastien Tan with 4th Ben, and it is Jack Carter in 5th. Miguel de Souza coming home with a 12th place championship finish. Pretty good considering how he started his season. But as for the World Constructors, DS McLaren TGR beat their own suppliers in DS Automobiles. Then it's Braun Honda and Andretti Honda, your top 4. Well, it's been a brilliant season of racing. Merry Christmas to one and all. And we'll see you guys next time then for Season 19 of the Formula E Monoposto Championship.